So you actually had
kind
a
of.
plan by the sound. You're clearly, from our previous conversations, very organized person. So what strikes me is most people don't necessarily plan to sell immediately. They have it as a vague idea. They get an offer from somebody. It's too good to refuse. They sell and then they go, now what? So in your case, it sounds like you didn't do that. You had a plan from the beginning. So tell me more about that.
Yeah, so I had a plan to sell it, and then it came as a surprise. It was a big idea to plan it one day, to sell it one day, and then I got an offer from an aggregator that wanted to buy it and sent me an LOI, letter of intent, with an offer, which I declined. But from that moment, it was in my mind more serious, and I planned more seriously. And I've kind of already decided in my head that I'm going to sell it, and I planned accordingly. And because I had enough time to plan for it and it didn't come as a surprise, I also planned the day after what I'm going to do after I'm selling, what I'm going to do in case the negotiations or things will not work and I'm not going to sell. So I really tried to cover all scenarios. What happened if, what happened after, what happened if this go to that direction. And I like to be planned because it gives me confidence and removes kind of stress. So that's the way I did it, to be honest, or I looked at it.
Yeah, I like that. A plan gives confidence and removes stress. That sounds like an excellent reason for doing it. And so you had a contingency plan. So I guess you plan to do what to do if it didn't sell. But so is it right that you really only started to plan what you would do when it did sell once you'd made the decision to sell maybe 6, 12 months before you sold? Is that right? You didn't really make that decision years before when you founded the business.
Yeah, yeah. And look, I love the lifestyle and what being a seller on Amazon gives. So I wanted and still want to stay in Amazon sellers because it give you a really a lot of flexibility. Gives you technically you don't need to work more than an hour or two when your business is running, growing it or even operating it. So it's really amazing business model. So I knew I want to be a seller even after I'm selling my business and planned accordingly. So I opened another brand already like a year before I started to the process of selling. Also, I guess opening another brand was another way for me to remove risk. The first episode we talked about why I actually sold my business and risk or being in Amazon ends or having them the ability to shut me down in one day was really scary thing for me. So I said, okay, how can I mitigate this? How can I remove or a little reduce that risk? And one way for me was to open another business, another brand. So I said, in case something goes wrong, I have another brand that I can rely on. Obviously, it was a side thing that didn't take a lot of focus or growth. It was like making, I think, 300,000 a year. So compared to the other one, that was a bigger one. But still, I knew that at one day when I sell this one, I can shift my focus back to this one, growing it. So that
Yeah.
was how I prepared pretty much.
Interesting. So you prepared to stop being an Amazon seller by preparing to start being an Amazon seller pretty much. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very interesting. And quite a lot of people probably share that they want the cash as opposed to just paper profits. But on the other hand, they don't really want to stop selling on Amazon.